What's going on, everybody? It's Jeff here. Welcome back to the channel. Less than 24 hours later, and I feel like I have so much more to update you guys on. We've got some new rulings being filed as of yesterday by the SEC. We've got articles being written about the new chairman cracking the whip and cracking down on some of the manipulation that's going on. And we have an insanely high new borrow fee that has just come out, and I'm going to go over my take on that, guys. So stick around. You're not going to miss this. For those of you that are new to the channel, all I ask is you hit that like button and subscribe to join the family. If you're interested in joining our private community, we have hundreds of members. First link in the description. We talk stocks and strategies all day long. We'd love to have you guys come check it out. Let's get into the video. First off, just want to take a quick look at the charts. Nice pop up to break above that $10 level again. We're only up 2.5% on the day, but as we know, price is kind of irrelevant at this point. Let's get over to the meat and potatoes. This article came out yesterday. New SEC chairman sets sights on Citadel and Virtue. We're going to talk a little bit about what he says. This goes back on the House Financial Services Committee meeting that they had last week, and some of the updates that I had given on you guys talking about what he was interested in. A couple things I want to highlight, and the biggest thing I want to point out is the fact that now the media is really starting to get behind them, which is obviously positive news for us. So Wall Street's new top regulator is putting pressure on them by questioning a key service they provide, executing the orders of millions of ordinary investors whose trades go to their black boxes instead of being routed to the public exchanges. Okay. It talks about payment for order flow, and it represents a conflict of interest for online brokerages, which collectively make billions of dollars a year from this practice. Okay. And it literally shows all of this. Look at that, 475 million. And we're only cracked in the first couple months. So he is looking to really, shake those things up because, like I said, it's a conflict of interest. It's not fair trade. Okay. Next thing, and we're going to dive even farther into this. All right. So next thing I do want to say, this had come out as the federalregister.gov, some documents talking about all these new changes that have come into effect as of May 10th yesterday. One thing I want to point out to you guys is this one right here. All right, it is the order granting for approval of a proposed rule change of new rules providing for the registration and obligations of non-DMM market makers. Okay, so let's dive into that just a little bit further. One thing I really want to point out to you guys is this right here. A member organization may register as a non-DMM and be subject to obligations similar to those of market makers on the New York Stock Exchange, okay, to, among other things, maintain continuous two-sided trading interest in the securities in which they are registered as a non-DMM market maker. All right, two-sided obligation. Good news for us. To break this down in layman's term, they're literally adding another form of a market maker. Okay, well, why would they do that? Well, let's take a look at what an actual DMM actually does. A designated market maker is a market maker responsible for maintaining fair and orderly markets for an assigned set of listed stocks. Okay, if you go over to the New York Stock Exchange website, it literally repeats that same exact thing of what a DMM is right here: maintaining fair and orderly markets for their assigned securities. Well, who is the New York Stock Exchange? DMMs right here, guys. Citadel, number one. They're literally adding a whole new sector in order to literally bring, make sure there's clarification, verification, and another set of eyes to really be able to scan and see what is exactly going on, and making sure that what the DMM job is to provide fair trading is actually happening, which we know there's so many different sources that we know that is not happening. Next thing I want to point out is this one as well. This was the suspension in the order instituting proceedings to determine for approval for another rule change. Okay, this goes into effect. I want to scroll down just a little bit. One thing I do want to say is this talks about the third-party systems and data feeds. Okay, so if you look at this chart right here, they literally have suspended, okay, third-party systems and other third-party data feeds, and it goes in to show you exactly what these companies and systems are. And the reasoning for doing that is, like I said, what is being behind the scenes, what is controlled and manipulated, is no longer going to be allowed to be happening. Now, I believe they do have right here, it says a 14-day waiver fee. Obviously, you got to give them some time to be able to clean up some of their messes. Last thing, guys, I want to talk to you about, and I'm going to give you my take on all of this. is this right here, the borrow fee, 48.8%. That's the highest we've seen since going all the way back till the start of the year, the 6th. Okay, the highest we've seen, a massive jump from 26 to 48. If you scroll down even further, it was all just at 11% on the 7th, went all the way up even higher now today, opening up at still that 26 and popping up to the 48.8%. Massive, guys. Let me give you my take on all this, and I'm going to relate it to something that I'm sure we can all kind of connect with. Okay, so basically what I am seeing happening now is, picture if your buddy comes up to you, okay, and says, listen, man, I got myself into some trouble. I need a hand to be able to get out of this mess. And naturally, he's your boy. You're going to be like, you know what, dude, I'll help you out. You always been there for me. Let me help you out. And then you recruit another one of your buddies and another one of your buddies and another one of your buddies. And then you guys really start to talk amongst each other and say, listen, you asked us for help. We supported you because we were friends with you. All right. We were partners. All right. Just like Citadel was. However, you are continuing to dig yourself a deeper hole. And it gets to a point when the eyes are on you, when the heat starts to mount, that you literally take a step back and say, listen, man, I can't go down and burn with you. I'm going to have to step away, and I got to protect myself, because naturally I signed up to be able to help you out. Okay. Whether there was a fee exchange, a benefit exchange, whether it was just natural helping somebody else out, it being in a like industry, or whatever it might have been. But when you literally start to watch them burn, and the eyes and the heat and the pressure, you literally have to take a step back and say, listen, I got to protect myself. I can't go down with you. And that is exactly what we are starting to see happening in the market. That's a big reason why I feel this fee rate has jumped so high, because we know everything that's talked about when it comes to the shares, the share count happening on the June 2nd, the amount of synthetic shares, 3.2 million shareholders, all of this light is being risen, and the attention is being risen. The fact that they are manipulating by utilizing synthetic shares, naked shorts, and not following what they should be doing. That's when it comes to like, listen, we got to start playing by the rules. We can't just give you shares that don't really exist, and we need to make the game a little bit harder, and we need to play by the rules, because they don't want to go down and burn. Nobody wants to be burnt for something that somebody else started. You might have helped them, but you're not going to want to get burnt for it. So guys, that's it for this video. We're going to watch to see how this continues to play out. I knew May was going to be a phenomenal month. It looks like June's going to be even set up to even brighter for us, but I'm going to want to see exactly where this plays out. I would like to see a price action move a little bit higher, especially with only quote unquote 10,000 shares available and that high of a borrow rate. Also, what's going to happen over the next 14 days as these third-party data providers and systems, processing systems, are no longer able to be utilized in the suspension and in the investigation that goes into the actual suspension. The suspension was only step one. The investigation is going to come behind it. So we'll be excited, guys. And listen, I'll keep on updating you. That's it for this video, guys. Give it a thumbs up. Appreciate it. I'll see you in the next one.